Hello! Today we're going to do some drawing and I chose one of my favorite places to draw, Randolph, specifically the carriage house. I thought it'd be fun to draw a structure today, some sort of structure. It could be anything. You could draw along with me while I draw the carriage house. I'll include a picture of the carriage house in the newsletter today so that you can use that as a reference. Or you could draw something that's at your house or close to your house. Maybe you have a tree house or a shed, or maybe you want to draw your house. Maybe you want to draw even a room in your house or a building down the street. Anything. I just wanted to try drawing a structure together, a building together. So if you want, you could watch this and then head outside to draw your building. Or if you're going to draw the carriage house with me, you can draw while you're watching. It's probably going to be tricky to watch this outside while you're drawing though. Maybe not. So let me tell you what you need. You need something to draw with. I'm going to put my sunglasses on, it's really bright. You need something to draw with. I have a pencil and eraser and a skinny Sharpie. And then I'm also going to add some watercolor to my drawing. You don't have to, it's up to you. And then I have just some paper. I have it on a drawing board because I am going to try to hold it up so you guys can see what I'm drawing while I'm drawing it. But you can just hold it on your lap, on a table. If you want to be, if you're drawing outside and you need something hard to hold it on, I would just put it on a big book, like a coffee table book, that's a little more sturdy. Okay, so if you're gonna grab your drawing supplies now, go for it, and I'll wait here. Okay, ready? All right, so the first thing I'm gonna do is really look closely at the carriage house. I want to take a minute and just soak it in, really look at the lines, look at some of the details, and then after I do that, I've already been here for a minute. I've already looked pretty closely at the carriage house, so I'm going to just keep going. I'm going to turn this a little bit so you can see more of the building. Next, I'm going to draw just kind of the general shape of the building. I'm going to do it quick with a pencil so I can erase, and I'm not going to focus on the little details. I'm just going to do the main shapes. So the building itself is a rectangle, so I'm going to start with a rectangle. And if these lines are not perfect, that's okay. Can you see? I don't know if you can see those lines or if it's too bright. There we go. So I have a rectangle. I'm going to add the roof, which is, let's see if I can show you the roof, if I can tilt the camera. Oh, there you go. So the roof is kind of a cut-off triangle. That's how I would describe that shape. So I'm going to do that shape. So start with the triangle and then cut it off at the top with a little, like a squared off zone. And then over here there's a chimney. And I can see it kind of at an angle. You can see my lines are kind of messy, but I'm not worried about it because I'm going to go back over with Sharpie and I'm going to erase these lines. So next I'm going to do the rough outline of the doors and windows. So we have two windows up above. Well, and that time I was just drawing what I thought the window looked like and not what I was really seeing with my eyes, which is important. Sometimes you think, oh yeah, that's a curved window, I know what that looks like. But it's not really. You have to look make sure you're drawing what you see and not what you are thinking it might look like in your brain. It's a big, there's a big difference. And you can see I'm erasing a bunch, and I'm going to keep erasing a bunch because this is just the like quick sketch. Okay, so I've got my upper windows, my upstairs crow's nest windows, and I'm going to add the double doors and the windows down here. And so one thing, I'm just doing this, you can tell I'm doing this really fast. If you want to make a more precise drawing, you can totally use a ruler, make all your lines super straight. If you are in the river room, you have done a lot of like drawing, architectural drawings, floor plans and things. So you may be doing like measuring your whole building and doing it to scale, which would be awesome. I'd love to see if you do. But it can also just be a kind of a loose interpretation of the building. It doesn't have to be exact. So you can see I've got a rough pencil sketch of what the building looks like. I'm going to go in and add a couple details. So one thing that I notice on all the windows is that they all have kind of a brick, like a little arch over each window and door frame. So I'm going to go in and add very quickly, just add those little details in. And it's always important as you're drawing to keep in mind like what perspective you're using, like what angle you're looking at the building in. Because right now I'm looking at it from kind of down low. I'm not equal with the building. I'm not looking at it straight on. I'm looking at it from below. So that makes a difference in how I see this building. Just like if you were looking at maybe you're gonna draw a tiny, like a toy house, like a doll house or something, and you might be looking at it from way up high, and it would look totally different. Your perspective would be totally different. So keep that's something really important to keep in mind. That's why I always say to really look at what you're actually seeing and not what you are expecting to see. And you can see I'm doing this super fast right now for the video. I'm going to quickly show you, I'm going to pause adding my details to show you how I would go about adding some watercolor. And I've got to tell you, this is a little tricky, I guess, but maybe sneaky. I have already done a watercolor of the carriage house, and this is my second one because I wanted to have a finished product to show you. So I'm going to show you the one I did earlier that is mostly finished. I want to add a few more details, but it's mostly done. So you'll get to see a finished, it won't just be this as the finished product. I gotta put my sunglasses back on. So I'm gonna add a little watercolor. First I'm gonna do some of the plants. And I usually like to use, one color to start on a plant or anything really anything. And then I like to go back in and add like little strokes of other colors. So I can see there's a big plant in that corner. And then there are some hostas here under that middle window. I'm gonna use a lighter green for those. And you can see I'm just doing kind of like a blob of green. It doesn't look, I'm not drawing individual leaves or anything like that. I'm just making kind of a blob of color. And then after I have done this, I could go back and add some detail with a black Sharpie, or I could just add other colors. You can see for this plant I added two different colors, 2 different shades of green, and it looks so it has so much more depth than just the solid colors. And then I wanted to show you with for the brick, if you want to do, if you're going to use watercolor, you could draw each individual brick if you want. I don't want to spend that much time on drawing those individual bricks. So I'm going to show you kind of the technique I used on the finished one to get a kind of brick look. So I did these little brush strokes kind of all over the paper with not a super wet brush, kind of a dry watercolor brush. And as those little marks started to dry, I added more water to my brush. I got a little more of that same kind of rusty color, and it went over it. So it kind of starts to blend, but not completely. So you still get kind of a more varied color. It's not all just that same color. You get kind of that brick texture without having to draw each individual brick. I can't tell if you can see that well, but I hope that you can. It's hard to do this in the sun when the sun is shining on the camera. So that's my quick technique. And then I would also go over all those lines in that skinny black Sharpie. But for now, I'm going to show you this. This one is mostly finished. I have a couple lines to erase, and I wanted to add some more detail. But here is my mostly finished, I can't tell if you can see it, mostly finished carriage house drawing, painting. So you can see, can you see? Yes, I have done that same brick technique. I've got my plants at the bottom with some different colors. I think I might go in and add some lines with Sharpies. Actually, I'll do that now while you're here. Just to kind of give them a little more depth and interest. And so this doesn't have to be exactly what you're seeing. I mean, we want it to look like the carriage house, but if you want to take a little artistic license and make something look a little different, you can. It's totally your choice. So I just added a couple really fast little lines to show sort of a little bit of the detail of some leaves. And that's really it. If you have any questions about this, because this one is a little more, could be a little more technical if you want to make it that way, please have your grown-up email me and we can do a Zoom call or a FaceTime and talk about it, or you can send me a picture and I can send you a picture back. I don't know, whatever you want. Okay, this was really fun. I will see you guys so soon, hopefully in real life soon. Have a great day. Bye.